in true English style, the weather is fucking beaming, and all I've done all day is complain about it. Literally come on here and said to you, Dale, straight away, this room is sweltering. I can't hack it anymore. But it's fucking summertime, isn't it, mate?
Just take it all in, mate. Just soak it up.
In 3 days' time, we will be good to go. Good evening, everyone. We are 4M1T. Delighted to be back. It feels like it's been a while since we've done one of these, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it feels like it's been a fair while. Drop us comments on this video whenever you are watching it. We will definitely get back to you. We've got some interesting topics to chat. Bit of housekeeping. Follow us on all our socials. We are 4M1T. That's on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and Instagram. We are also 4Manx1 Off It on YouTube, but if you search 4M1T, you will find us. I'm sure Chris searches it every day to make sure we were still alive. So, yeah, I am joined, not with Chris tonight. He is busy. Lee is also working. But Mr. Barber, and just joining us right now, Mr. Joshua Murphy. How are we, lads?
Aye, well, enjoying the our summer, let's put it that way.
Yeah.
In the build-up to the Euros. You're making the most of the weather anyway, so hopefully it lasts a bit longer.
Absolutely, mate. And Josh, how you doing, mate?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. Just got in from a big gym sesh, so I'm absolutely shattered, actually, in all honesty. But that's what we're there for.
Absolutely. I've been in there since 6 a.m. this morning.
Good
Lovely.
Big stint.
Yeah. Thankfully, I only trained twice, so you know
only
twice. Somewhat alive. We're good. Right, I'm gonna get us stuck in straight away, boys, because we're gonna try and keep this one short and sweet tonight. Boys, we're 3 days away. We're 3 days away before it starts coming home. Are we hyped or are we hyped?
I'm hyped.
I am, but I know what we're going to get on the first game.
Yeah.
And that's a boring 0-0. I can see it happening.
Literally, just off air then, me and Dale were chatting. We were going through the fixtures that are coming up, and you've got some incredible fixtures in this first round, including Germany versus France, I believe, last game of the round. And we're starting the tournament with no host nation, so you can start on any game you want, and we are starting on Turkey versus Italy.
Yeah, you could be shocked. Hopefully, we're shocked.
Hopefully, you are right. To be honest, both teams coming in good form. Italy looking like a pretty underdog team this year. No one's talking about Italy in the slightest. I've got them down as one of my dark horses. Like, we'll do a proper preview show probably on the Sunday or something. But I've got them like as a proper dark horse for me. I think they've just got a really solid squad. I know Gav and Chris have been doing like a Euros preview show on the Mad Sports Network, and they've been raving about Italy at the moment. But Dale, you were telling me about Turkey and their qualification process just then. Sounds mental.
Yeah, I mean, I was looking at the qualification. I mean, they only conceded 3 goals all through that qualifying, and they had France in the group as well, and finished 2 points behind France. So yeah, I mean, they do bring a sort of element of form, you know, to the table. I mean, could they make a push for, you know, sort of second round knockouts, you know, quarters? Be interesting. I mean, they've done well in qualifying, but it's a different kettle of fish, you know, in the actual, you know, tournament itself. So it remains to be seen. But yeah, I'm hoping the game doesn't go like I think it is going to go, and we do get a little bit more than what I'm anticipating. Try and actually, you know, kick off the tournament with a great game, great opening game.
Yeah, I mean, they're in a relatively, the way they've qualified, relatively easy-ish group. Italy, them, and then Switzerland and Wales. I couldn't tell you more than 3 Swiss players. I'll be honest, I probably couldn't tell you more than 3 Turkish players. Like they've not got a squad that is recognisable to me. But you know, we have them surprises sometimes, don't we?
Yeah, there's always one team, isn't there, or a couple of teams that, you know, just sort of emerge that's, you know, given maybe the group or, you know, just sort of come into the competition sort of under the radar.
Yeah,
shall we say? But yeah, I'm not sure what team or teams that may be yet, because I mean, North Macedonia, I'm not gonna lie, they surprised me getting there, so that could be the team for me. I don't know, but I mean, there is always one or two, isn't there, that sort of surprises. So let's see.
North Macedonia got a win against Germany. I mean, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
So I don't know who the underdogs will be, but I have had people bouncing around both of these sides in the opening game. Italy, saw a stat the other day that they've gone unbeaten in international games for quite a long period of time now. Probably couldn't name you half their first team these days. Just don't follow Serie A enough. Turkey, I probably only know the ones that play in the Premier League. Maybe the odd one that plays abroad. But yeah, like you boys, maybe about 3. And it is those teams, the ones where you don't know the players because, you know, they're scattered around in leagues you don't follow so much, like the Turkish league, for example. Like when Greece went on to win it. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? What a shock that was.
Yeah. What was that, 04? Something like that?
It was, yeah. It was 04.
Yeah. It only takes one good tournament, though, to put these lads on the scene. And then that's when the big Prem teams or what have you come in and buy them, isn't it? So they'll be playing for their careers, I think, some of these smaller squads. Some of the half-decent players in these smaller international teams will be thinking, I'm on the main stage here. This is a chance for me to put myself out there and get myself noticed. That's how I'd be thinking if I was them anyway. So I'm sure they are.
There's always one. There's always one player that comes out of this tournament that gets a move. Most notably the one, the biggest one I can remember is the James Rodriguez one for 2014. You know, he was doing all right in Monaco, but no one had really ever heard of him. And then absolutely stormed the tournament. Real Madrid come in with like 77 million. There's always one. There's always one, like 1 or 2 standouts that you've never really heard of before. And I think that's what I'm excited for.
Yeah. And me, just to be surprised by players that I'd never even heard of that just break onto the scene and just wow me.
Yeah.
And clubs.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited for football to be back as well. I know it's only been back like gone a week or 2, but I'm fucking bored.
Yeah. I'm excited to actually care about international football for once. You know, it's only ever the Euros or the World Cup. Like the qualifiers and things, England play all these teams from God knows where that you wouldn't ever travel to. Do you know what I mean? And they usually come out winning 2 or 3-0, 4 or 5-0, what have you? Your San Marinos. Actually, I probably would go to San Marino because it's smack bang in the middle of Italy, I think. Landlocked in the middle of Italy somewhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's nice. You know, I've started hearing like people start playing about with like the England songs, start putting those in the Spotify again. They haven't done that since the World Cup, and I'll be the same. You know, I'll start listening to all of them soon. It'll be New Order on every morning on the way to work.
The alarm clock.
Yeah,
it's gonna be class. I'm looking forward to it. Like, it's an international tournament. Not even like as much as I have no hope for England at all anymore. And we'll move on to England in a second. I'm just excited for the sun to be out. I'm getting pure 2018 vibes again. You know, we've got a heat wave, we've got an international tournament, Love Island starting again. Like we've got everything going on again, boys.
Well, you brought that to my attention, mate. I didn't even know about Love Island starting again. I'm surprised my missus hasn't mentioned it.
Wait, well, there you go. And any lads that are watching this, shaking their head right now, fuck off. You know you're all going to be watching
it. they won't have a choice. The birds will tell them they're
exactly.
watching it. Yeah.
So, England lads, have we watched any of the recent games?
Yeah.
We both say in despair.
Yeah.
Weren't the greatest, were they?
No.
I mean, I'll go back to the first, was it Austria? It was,
Austria.
wasn't it? Yeah. The first 20 minutes of that, I thought we were very good. And then it just sort of really dropped off after that.
Yeah.
And it was a next one.
Romania.
Well,
that says everything. It says everything.
That just wasn't great. I know he'd made a lot of changes and stuff, but it's just. I would like to have seen more in the sort of lead up to obviously the first game, the tournament. Just like in any sort of cup final. Whatever you want to at least sort of be playing some half decent football in sort of lead up to it. But again, with a big tournament like this, you want to be, against Australia and Romania. I'm not being funny. We should be winning them sort of 3 goals easy, in my opinion. But I know he made a few changes and a few players are out, obviously with the Champions League final and stuff like that. But yeah, I would have liked to have seen a bit more. So hopefully when the first game comes around for us, we just sort of step it up a notch, step it up a gear or two. Be interesting to see what sort of team he puts out as well. I think Grealish has got to start for me. I thought he was a bright spark out the 2 games. I thought he was outstanding.
Yeah.
So he's got to start for me. Yeah, just be interesting to see what sort of formation he plays as well.
Funny enough, I was just on the drive home then, had TalkSport on, and they were commentating about the open training session they've had today. The formation they have been practicing has been 3-4-3 with a back 3 of Kyle Walker, John Stones and Luke Shaw, with either Trent or James on the right and Chilwell on the left.
Won't be Trent.
So,
Sorry,
not Trent. Sorry, Trippier. Trippier. Yeah. 4 fullbacks in a back 5.
I don't like the idea of like Luke Shaw playing a more central role.
I do, because he's been good at it for us. Like, you might not have seen it as much as we have, but I would rather him play as a natural fullback.
Would you? You see, I just really like him playing on the left side. And I don't like the idea of Walker coming in either. I'd prefer him to make his mistakes on the wing.
Yeah.
If he's going to make them on the wing, don't make them sort of on the edge of the box or just outside the box, more central. That's my issue with that formation personally, but Southgate knows better than I, so.
No, he doesn't. No, he does not. Yeah, by the sounds of things, that training session today was like fully invested on 4 fullbacks in a back 5, which is just mental to me. Because we're just limiting so much going forward with that.
Yeah, he's looking for a 1-0, isn't he? It's basically the same as the 2 friendlies. It's not an easy game, that first one. Croatia, they knocked us out of the World Cup. They're no mugs at all. They made it to the final.
The thing is, you don't want to lose that first game, do you?
No.
You lose that first game, and straight off the bat, you're under pressure to try and qualify. Then it's one of them.
In a game against Scotland that's already high pressured anyway because of the rivalry, it's the longest international fixture ever in the world between England and Scotland. Plus, there's the home rivalry there between us. They're old rivals of ours, aren't they? Probably more so than France.
Yeah.
And, you know, we've got Euro 96. You know, everyone's been talking about that and the Gaza thing. Stuff like that. You know, it means more. Them ransacking Wembley and taking the turf home with them. It means more than just the second group game to us English fans. And I'd rather we go into it off a victory in the first game. Confidence is running high. Maybe the tactics work, maybe the formation worked, and we think, right, well, you know, if we can do Croatia, who, in my opinion, are a stronger side than Scotland, and I'm sure in yours as well, then we should quite easily brush Scotland aside as well, and then we're through. You got to think we're through at that point. If you win your first two, there's no way you're not qualifying at that point, I don't think. Just focus all your energy on the first two games. You come away with 2 victories, you take it a bit easier in the third.
Yeah. I mean, just with Croatia there, I mean, I'm just going back to their qualifying. I mean, they got beat by Hungary away, and it looks like they scraped a 2-1 win against Azerbaijan. So. Yeah,
I did actually watch that game.
No.
Yeah, I did actually watch that game, yeah.
Fucking hell, did you have literally nothing else to do?
Yeah, I was at a loose end and I wanted football in my day, so...
but, I mean, you look at sort of results like that, you just think... Are they going to pose much of a? I know previous competitions, they've gone quite far. I mean, look at sort of even more recent the Nations League. I mean, they were stuff 4-2 against France and 4-1 against Portugal. It's like, are these sort of making these a bit more? Thinking they're a bit more difficult to beat than possibly what they currently are. Maybe
it's a very aging squad. It's a very aging squad, that Croatia team. The thing that worries me is, last time we played them when they beat us, we played 3 at the back.
Yeah.
I'm literally looking at the team now. Pickford in net, back 3 of Walker, Stones and Maguire. If it wasn't for Maguire's injury, I would back that would probably be the back 3 for this World Cup as well. Kieran Trippier on the left, Ashley Young on the left, and then Kieran Trippier on the right. Midfield 3 of Henderson, Lingard and Dele Alli, and then Sterling and Kane up front.
It's crazy how much the squad changes just in a couple of years. Well, 3 years because of the COVID delay, but the England's, fallen from grace, hasn't he?
Even looking at the bench, Loftus-Cheek, Danny Welbeck, like Fabian Delph, Phil Jones, for fuck's sake.
Fabian Delph. Oh, God. Get gone. Leave my club.
Leave your club. Phil Jones, leave my club.
Just looking at the Croatia squad who they've selected here, they have got some good players, you know. Ivan Perisic, Mateo Kovacic, Luka Modric, obviously aging but still class. Nikola Vlasic, that used to play for Everton, didn't do anything for us, but I think he's gone on to actually play quite well. Whoever he moved to, I've forgotten now. So their midfield's actually quite strong. That just to name a few there, because the other ones I've not really heard of, I don't think. But
they've got a good few forwards as well. Kramaric did really well for Hoffenheim this season. Miroslav Orsic single-handedly knocked out Spurs in the Europa League. Rebic from Milan, like you said. Yeah, they have got some decent players there. It's just maybe it could be another Turkey. Just a bunch of players that have gone under the radar. They've got history as well, though. Like they've beat us once before.
Yeah, I feel like we owe them one, don't we? First game, it's our chance to get some revenge.
Yeah, it's mad, mate. It's absolutely mad. But we'll see. Sunday, 2:00. I'm going to be shitting it. I mean, absolutely shitting it.
I'll be having a nice breakfast that morning to set me up right for that fixture, I think.
God, yeah. God, yeah. I'm out on the lash on the Saturday as long as I'm not dead from my COVID job tomorrow. So it might be a spoons brekkie.
Oh, yeah, good shout. Yeah. Good shout. Yeah, I mean, just looking at if you want to just quickly go through the fixtures as well, because there's a fair few games before we get to that. We could go through them pretty quickly. I don't know.
Go for it.
Obviously, we talked about Turkey, Italy, and then Wales, Switzerland. How do we think Wales will do in this one? Unfortunately, they're probably not firing as they did in that. Was it the World Cup where they surprised us?
2016 was it, I believe.
Was that a Euros or a World Cup?
That was a Euros.
Yeah, Euros. Yeah, I thought it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, but obviously shocked us then. Bale's a bit out of sorts now, isn't he? He was the main man then.
Yeah.
I just don't think they've really got unfortunately, got the caliber that they had back then. Get Robson Carnu back up front; he'll do a job.
I can't see him get through the group. I hope so.
I'd love to see Robson Carnu in the team. Let's have a look.
I can't see them getting out of the group, to be honest.
Well, according to the official Europa app, he's not in the team.
Well, there you go then.
Yeah.
There you go. I could see Switzerland winning that one, in all honesty.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm very pessimistic when it comes to the Welsh. I just don't think they offer anything.
In general, or the football?
Just in general as a country, yeah.
Hope Jordan's listening. Yeah, and Chris.
Yeah, I don't know. They've got some good players, but I mean, half the squad plays in the Championship.
Yeah, I mean, I reckon Wales might get something out of that. I'd probably go down the route of, I don't think there'll be many goals in it anyway. So you look at it, a 0-0, 1-1. I think Wales can manage that. To be fair, I mean, but yeah, in terms of getting out of the group, I think the best for them would be one of the best third place finishers. I don't think they'll be in the top two. I think that's between Italy and maybe Turkey.
Yeah, I could see them two being the top two.
But yeah, I think Wales might get something out of that. Start off decent anyway. A decent opening game for him.
All right, moving on. Group B, Denmark, Finland. I think that's fairly obvious, isn't it?
Yeah.
You've got to go for a Denmark win there.
Yeah.
You'd like to think that'll be an easy win as well. A couple of goals at least.
Yeah.
3-0 maybe.
I mean,
never rule out Teemu Pukki.
I was going to say, they have got Pukki up top, haven't they, for Finland? And he did all right, didn't he, in their promotion year last year, Norwich? Once again, championship standards, good for him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Belgium, Russia. It's got to be Belgium.
Yeah. Russians is the weird one, man. They're an X factor.
They are. Odd side, Russia, because I have seen them pull off some cracking results in games where... Yeah. They've got the odd player as well, They always produce the odd decent player that makes it over to, the top European leagues.
Then it's Cheryshev being like one of the more recent ones.
Yes, they could shock us. They might push Belgium.
The thing is with Belgium, but one thing, Roberto Martinez is the manager.
Yeah.
So, he's shite. And two, they have the same issue that PSG have, just being a massive group of individuals. Like they should have won the last 2 or 3 international tournaments quite comfortably. And they've just not done it. Something just doesn't seem to click for them when it comes to these major tournaments. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it is that individuality or... I don't know. I just can't see them. I think a lot of people have them as like not even dark horse favourites, like second favourites to win the whole thing. I can't see it.
Well, I mean, just looking back on how they performed against us in that 3rd and 4th place World Cup game, they brushed us aside, no bother really, didn't they? So if they've built upon that, you quite fancy them to be there or thereabouts. I think they might reach the semis at least if they fire. If they fire, they should do better, really, given the players they've got. A lot of people are tipping Lukaku to be top goal scorer in this competition.
I'd back that.
Yeah. I mean, you think about it, they've got to play Finland. Imagine if Lukaku gets a couple of chances in that, he could come away with a brace, maybe even a hat-trick against Finland.
You look at like 5 goals is normally the amount that you need to be a World Cup and European Championship top goal scorer. So if he gets, like I said, if he gets 3 or 2 in that one game, he's well on his way straight away.
His confidence will be right up there. Play against, even if he gets run against Belgium in their opening game. Against Russia, sorry, in their opening game, which he could do. He could do. Don't know what the Russians' defense is like these days, but I know it's renowned for being a bit dodgy.
Yeah.
If anything, it's their midfield and forward players that have been the decent standout players for them in the past for me. To So yeah, if he nets one in the opening game, gets a brace against Finland, his confidence is high. Could get one against Denmark. Who knows? Might be a bit more difficult against them because I think these days Denmark are quite a solid unit, aren't they?
Yeah, they've caused us some issues recently, haven't they?
I think they could go further than people might give them usual credit for. They've got a very solid side these days, Denmark.
Yeah, they do.
I actually think Belgium and Denmark might break through that group. I think they could be your top two there.
Using that, Denmark, Finland, Belgium, and Russia.
Yeah,
Denmark and Belgium all day there.
Yeah, Russia might be there or thereabouts. I don't know, but we'll see.
Yeah, it's the look of the draw as well. I mean, who do they get? What teams do they pull out of which group after that? I mean,
I couldn't even tell you. I just know that we get the group of death. I know that.
Yeah. I've not got my wall chart up yet, mate. I can't.
I'm just literally about to say I need a wall chart.
Yeah.
But I mean, there is that. There's obviously the element of luck on the draw and stuff. You've obviously got, like I say, you come to us and whoever's finishing first or second in our group is potentially playing whatever, either Germany, France, Portugal, possibly in the games after that, and it's like kind of skew with your chances possibly of going further than what you're hoping for. But it'd be interesting to see where teams come and what teams they get from the other groups. See what the draws through.
I've actually got it here on the app. So round of 16 is first in Group B, which is the group we're talking about at the moment, against third in Group A, D, E, or F. So it's a third place team.
Oh, that's one of the third place team ones.
Yeah, so that's going to be you would assume a nice, easy game for whoever finishes top in Group B.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, second in Group B if you want that. I'll try and find that, sorry. Here we go. Third in Groups A, B, C, or D plays first in Group E. Second in Group B. Where's that? Oh, second in Group B is against second in Group A. So the ones that we just discussed.
About these tournaments is freaking keeping up all the groups.
Yeah. So basically, your Italy or your Turkey will play whoever finishes second. So you might see like a Denmark against Turkey or something like that.
Sweet.
Moving on. Group C, Austria, North Macedonia.
Couldn't give a shit.
Okay.
We'll not be watching that.
Dale.
I tell you, that could be an interesting group in general, that one.
I thought you were going to say that could be an interesting game then. I was about to pick up this podcast.
Get off.
Jump me off. Hey. No, I mean, you've got Netherlands, Austria, Ukraine, North Macedonia. Like I said, North Macedonia for me, the surprise package you're getting there. I mean, I didn't even know they were there anyway. But Netherlands, they haven't exactly been in tip-top form recently. I mean, I'm just looking at the qualifiers.
Is Pandev in the team?
He is, mate. He was the one that got them through, mate.
Goran Pandev's in the team, mate. There's your top goal scorer for the tournament.
Just got a comment through there from Fidan. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly there, but good evening, mate. Will be interesting when Macedonia wins against Austria. Do you know what?
Oh, I'd love that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that'd set up the tournament right, wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah. Imagine Netherlands and Ukraine, like, what? What's happening here?
They're supposed to be the whipping boys, and they're just pulling out results.
Austria have got an all right team, though,
I was going to say, Austria caused us some issues when we played them in that friendly the other day. I know it was our weakened team and stuff, but we've got a few decent players. I mean, I don't need to talk about my love for Marcel Sabitzer. Like, fuck me. That guy is an absolute top baller. I think Chris put in the chat today that someone's reporting he's available for 15 million. Yeah. Hello, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Go and sign him. Make my day.
He's a big lad, isn't he? Like, he's got a solid face on him.
Yeah, he's
massive
so
jaw.
Good on the ball as well. Like, so good on the ball.
Yeah, and then you got Alaba.
Yep.
Obviously, he's been there.
The new Real Madrid centre back that plays right wing for Austria, apparently.
Marko Arnautovic, he's in the team. Arnautovic, not seen or heard from him for a while. Didn't he go over to China?
He did, yeah. He was SIPG, I believe. Who, interestingly enough, have changed their name. Have you seen that?
No, have they?
They're now called Shanghai Port.
Oh, I don't like that.
What a fucking awful name change is that?
Oh, Shanghai SIPG all the way. That was when Sven Goran Eriksson used to manage them, didn't he?
Yeah. I know we're coming there from Finland. Pandev, Elmas, Alioski, Baradi, Ademe, important players. I know Pandev is a veteran, but still scoring goals. I love Pandev. I've got a lot of love for that man there. Really, really good player. He's right. I mean, at the end of the day, they're at this tournament for a reason, aren't they? There's some good teams that haven't made it. Like, I'm thinking Norway. Haaland couldn't get them there. So a good team like Macedonia, they're not here to make the numbers up.
Well, like going back to what we said at the start of the podcast for Fidan, we're looking forward to seeing these surprise packages doing well. We want to see these players breaking onto the scene and showing us what they're about. And these teams in general, I'd love to see North Macedonia get through this group. I'd be so excited to watch them in the next stage after that.
Yeah.
If they win their first game against Austria, I probably will watch the second one against Ukraine or Netherlands, whoever they play.
Yeah,
just to see him. Yeah. I'll probably watch this, in all fairness. I'll try and catch them all.
I was going to say, like, if I'm not in work, I'm going to be watching it all. And if I'm in work, I'm going to try and get on the TVs while I'm in work. So
yeah, I'm going to have a little word in the suggestion box and just say, any chance. We've waited 3 years. Can we get it on the telly, please?
Right, what are we on next then?
All right, sorry. Our group. So us against Croatia. Do we want to discuss that further? Do we think we'll win that?
Yeah, I do. As much as I've fucking slated us, I do think we'll win.
Yeah, if it'd be long drawn out affair, 1-0, something like that, won't it?
Yeah.
Like the friendlies. Then obviously Scotland against Czech Republic. I think it might be a close affair again, that.
I'm not sure how that'll go, to be honest.
I think, I think that Scotland will nick that. I do. I think Scotland will nick that one.
I was going to go for a draw.
I'm going to go controversial there. I think the Scottish are probably coming out of that group with us.
I'd like to see that, because then we might get them. Well, we won't obviously get them in the round of 16, but if we draw them in imagine if we drew them in a semi.
Oh, man.
Imagine the country if it was England against Scotland.
That would be,
it'd be crazy.
Sensational. Even
if we pulled Wales, if Wales got through and we managed to pull Wales, that'd be an amazing game as well.
I just look at their squad and then compare it to the Wales team, and everyone's giving Wales all this credit. I genuinely think the Scottish team's better. I
rate them. They've got some really good players that play in the Premier League, especially like Che Adams up top.
Yeah.
James Forrest.
Craig Gordon and David Marshall in there, two really good and experienced goalkeepers.
Yeah.
Liam Cooper, who's been sensational for Leeds at the back this season.
Yeah.
You've got Andy Robertson, Kieran Tierney. McTominay plays at the back for Scotland.
Grant
so he jumps out
Hanley.
of the field. Billy Gilmore. You've got John Fleck, John McGinn, Che Adams, Lyndon Dykes, Ryan Fraser. Like, they've got some decent players.
Yeah. That's Stuart Armstrong. He's the one from Southampton, isn't he?
Yeah.
Always does well. John Fleck, one of the standout players for Sheffield United. Yeah. He's been on the scene for a while, John Fleck, and I really rate him. Ryan Fraser, mate. Ryan Fraser, one of those players that can just, at the flick of a switch, turns it on.
Yeah, I agree. I think they've got a decent team. I really think they've got a decent team.
I do as well, and I think you might be spot on there, mate. It could be an England-Scotland coming through this group. I hope so anyway. Croatia, you just don't know what Croatia are going to turn up.
No.
That'll be a good game between Scotland and Croatia, I think.
I think what the Scotland have got the advantage of is they could go in as that best place third team. Yeah.
And that's fine, because they've probably got a strong enough team there to push whoever they get in the next stage. I'll move on anyway whilst Dale's messing about with his camera.
He's going to have to restart, isn't he?
Yeah, and then we've got Poland against Slovakia, Group E.
Ooh. That's an interesting one.
Yeah. Two fairly good sides there with, once again, a plethora of good players in both squads, really.
I mean, I'm always back in Poland with Lewandowski.
Yeah, you would think so. The best number 9 in the world.
Yeah, got a lot of good number 9s in this tournament.
Yeah, definitely. This is the platform for them, isn't it? Your Kane, Lukaku, Lewandowski, and that's just the 3 I've got at the top of my head. Like arguably the 3 best in the world. Mbappe, yeah. Think about Mbappe though. For me, because of how agile and fast he is, I could quite easily just float him on the left or right hand side.
I think they will do with Benzema if he's fit, because he did lip off injured the other day.
Oh yeah, and Benzema's just had an unbelievable season, hasn't he? So there's no way you're not starting him. Yeah. Like, unfortunately, Olivier Giroud isn't going to get a look in now. Benzema's in the squad.
No,
but that just goes to show the caliber that France have got. Yeah, so Poland, Slovakia. I'm not looking past Poland. I'm sure you're not as well, mate. Lewandowski's a machine. And then quite a decent game next. Spain against Sweden. Now, I watched Spain in a friendly against Portugal the other day. It finished 0-0, but Spain were miles the better side. Spain played some really good football. Portugal were better on the counter-attack and were trying to rely on their counter-attack more. And I think it's because Portugal have got an aging defence. Yep. They've got Pepe and Fonte as their 2 centre-halves. And let's face it, they're both in the mid-30s. They've not got the legs like they used to. Still do a job, still clear it up, but anybody with a bit of pace gets past them, then they're struggling. So back to Spain. They played some great football. I do think that they'll beat Sweden.
Yeah.
The issue for me with Spain is that they've not got any Real Madrid players in the squad, which is a red flag for me, because there were some that could have made that team and would have done a job.
I agree completely.
I mean, I think these two actually met in the qualifiers as well. I think Spain won one 3-0 and then they drew the other one 1-1.
Okay, well.
So it could go either way, to be fair. I mean,
hats off to Sweden.
They finished first and second in that group, them two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the Sweden squad about? What are we talking about here? Have we got the main man? No.
Surely not.
No, he's not in the team. No, Zlatan's not made it. You see, I couldn't name you more than a couple of this team for Sweden, whereas in past years I could have done. Robin Olsen in net, obviously been at Everton all year. Mm-hmm. Did a good job when he stepped in for Pickford. I actually hope, going back to club football, I actually hope that we give him a chance and take him on from Roma, because he said that he'd like us to.
Yeah.
And Pickford needs somebody, pushing him. Robin Olsen's been a good player to step in and do that for us. So obviously Victor Lindelof for you boys. I know he's a bit hit and miss, isn't he, depending on who he's playing with. But
yeah,
I'm sure the formation might be a bit different for Sweden's. Seb Larsson.
I can't believe that he's still an international footballer.
It's like 36. Well, 36, about 56 more like that. It's been going around for ages. But...
Pontus Jansson for Brentford, captain there.
Marcus Berg.
Emil Forsberg for Leipzig, who's quality. Kulusevski, who's looked really good for Juve this season. And the surprise one, who's a bit of a dark horse for Golden Boot, I reckon, is Alexander Isak, who has had a phenomenal season at Real Sociedad. Really, really top young striker. If he leads the line and gets a few chances, he'll score a few goals in.
Yeah, you know what, right? I mean, if I'm going off the performance the other day, Spain played some beautiful football. I can see them being one of the top teams in this tournament. I know people might say, oh, well, like me, no Real Madrid players in the team. Are they an aging squad? Sergio Busquets, Thiago, Jordi Alba. But there's no denying that they've got some class in the team.
Yeah.
I'd like to see Adama Traore actually have a good tournament, because he's not had the easiest season for Wolves.
I actually can't believe he's in the squad, I'll be honest.
I know, it's an odd one, and he's probably one of those players really that a Real Madrid player could have taken the place for.
Someone like Lucas Vazquez.
Yeah.
Should have really been in that squad there.
Asensio.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nacho,
Nacho's had a phenomenal season at the back.
Do you know what I mean? How did he not make the squad? I couldn't believe it. When they announced the team, they said no Real Madrid players in it. He was the main guy for me that I was shocked didn't make the team.
Vasquez was the one for me.
Yeah. Well, as much as you watch the La Liga, which is more than me, of the games that I've seen Real Madrid play, Nacho has been excellent.
Yeah. So
I was shocked by that. But yeah, going off what you said, Dale, if Spain won 3-0 and they drew 1-1, I'm edging Spain for this one. I think it could be like a 2-0 Spain.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of them. They don't have many sort of the Madrid players, do they? But the squad's still probably strong enough in certain areas to probably get a job done. Do I think they'll get anywhere near the final? Probably not, in my opinion. But I think they'll get out the group. But I'm not sure how much further they'll get. Beyond that. To be honest, it's not a vintage Spanish squad, is it? By all means. So
a lot of young guns coming through now. Maybe it's their chance to shine and get on the platform like we were talking about.
Yeah, I mean they'll gain a lot of experience, won't they? Anyway, from this, can take that on for future.
Yeah. Group of Deaf boys, Group F, Hungary versus Portugal.
So you were just saying about Portugal then, and they're obviously their aging squad, but they played tonight. They beat Israel 4-0. I watched a bit of it, very comfortable, and they've got their main men back.
Okay.
So Cancelo back at right back, Ruben Diaz back at centre back, Bernardo Silva back on the wing. You've got a front four of Ronaldo, Jota, Bernardo Silva, and Bruno Fernandes. that is dangerous.
Impressive, Impressive.
Yeah. I think they have huge potential to go far in this tournament.
Yeah. If you're Portuguese looking at the squad, coming off what they've done in previous tournaments, you'd fancy them, wouldn't you?
Yeah. But the holders, aren't they? They won it last time.
Yeah.
I mean, even the bench is just some of the players on the bench. I mean, Matinho, Danilo, Patricio in goal.
Semedo. Renato Sanchez, who won the Golden Boy a few years ago.
Yeah, I mean, the bench is stronger, especially on that game. I mean, the Pepe at centre-back still, but you've got Diaz there. I mean...
I would even back them playing that Danilo Pereira, the one that plays for PSG, because when he played in Champions League and had to play at centre-back, he was unreal. But then again, Pepe did bring out one of the best centre-back performances I've seen in years when Porto beat Juventus. So maybe he has still got it.
Yeah.
That Portugal squad is dangerous.
It is, isn't it? You're hoping that if we do in fact draw Group of Death team in the next round, you're hoping to avoid that.
Yeah.
I would rather play France or Germany than Portugal, I think, at this stage. I don't know. Germany are an absolute nightmare to play against as well, aren't they? But
the fingers with this Group of Death, who escapes it?
I do not know, mate. Because all three could potentially go through, could they not?
Yeah, if one of them finishes high in a third place. Well, it's 4 out of 6, so they've got a good enough chance of getting through.
Yeah. You got to feel for Hungary, haven't you? poor national team got to come up against these three opponents.
I know, yeah.
If they get a draw out of any of those 3 games, then they've done well. Really well.
Agreed.
If they get a goal, let alone a draw.
Yeah, correct, mate. Have Hungary even got any players of note that we know?
Biggest one I can tell you is Peter Galacci.
Adam Bogdan. Adam Bogdan.
Peter Galacci, the Leipzig keeper.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's as good as I can tell you, unfortunately.
I'm looking at the last friendly and I have no idea any of them. No. Don't ring a bell.
No. Absolutely.
Mad, isn't it? Again, another one that how have we got there?
Yeah, they must do well. You've probably got the run in there, Dale, but
let me have a look at the squad.
Have a look.
Maybe Fidan could tell us. He seems to have good knowledge of these teams far out. But
jump back on, mate. We need you.
Yeah, Nemanja Nikolic. He sounds like he must play for a good side. He's a forward. Nemanja, is almost one of your ex-boys, isn't it, with Vidic?
Yeah, he's got a great name.
Yeah.
Right, so looking at that there, this is weird, this. So in that group in the qualifiers was Croatia and Wales. They went through. They finished top 2. Slovakia went through. They finished 3rd. Hungary came 4th out of 5.
How did they make it through?
So I have no idea how they've ended up in
the competition.
Yeah, I don't know how it works, but just
it must be
looking a bit further on.
Is it a wild card for like the best place 4th team?
Something like that. I mean,
how many points did they have in that group?
12 or something. 12 from like 8 games.
Maybe they racked up more points than any of the other teams that finished that low in the groups.
Yeah.
Boys, I like to pride myself on my knowledge of like European football. I could tell you I know 4 of these players.
Yeah.
One of them is Peter Galacci. One of them is Adam Bogdan.
Yeah, of course. We know him.
Willy Orban, who's a centre-back for Leipzig.
Yeah.
And the captain, Slazai, and that is it. I don't know. He plays for Mainz.
Oh, fair play.
Apart from that, I could not tell you anyone in that team. They've got a Bristol City player there, for God's sake.
It's impressive that they've got 2 Leipzig players in the team, I must say.
They would have 3. I do not want to try and pronounce this guy's name, but I will do. Adam Szoboszlai, who
sounds great, mate. Sounds great.
As far as I'm concerned, mate, I've nailed that. He came from Salzburg, paid 20 million for him, but he's had a lot of injuries this season. But when he's played, he's looked brilliant.
Yeah, well, 20 million's no small fee, is it, either? So, must be a good player. And that, I mean, other than the France-Germany game, let's quickly go over that. I can't believe I nearly skipped it because that's an epic game, that. Both sides could quite easily be the winners of this tournament, as could Portugal.
Both sides could also not get out of the group.
Yeah.
How mental is that?
It is. You know what, right? I thought Germany had sort of had their day a little bit, but I watched how they played against Latvia in a friendly the other night, and they were immense. It was 5-0 by half-time. And the 5th goal, I don't know if you've seen it, Mats Hummels played one of the most beautiful outside of the foot passes that I've ever seen. And the fact that he's a centre-half is crazy. It was immense. It completely sliced everybody apart. But then, Serge Gnabry's goal.
Yeah.
What was that?
Unreal
my
finish.
God. He looked up. He thought, you know what? I'm capable of this. I can put it in that far corner. Bang. Perfect strike. Top bin. Goalkeeper. How could he was reacting? He was flapping on the floor as if he could have got to it or somebody could have done better. Sorry, nobody was dealing with that pass and nobody was dealing with that shot.
Mate,
nobody in the world.
True 7-1 tradition, the 1 was the best goal of the night. The Latvia goal was outstanding. In true 7-1 tradition, there's the 1, but they looked unreal. If they can get Werner to even put away a third of the chances that he's going to make this tournament, they are on something. Thomas Muller is looking unreal.
Oh, yeah.
No bias from me whatsoever, but
of course not.
No, he is looking sensational. Kai Havertz coming off the back of the Champions League final. he must be riding on absolute cloud 9. Put his middle finger up right to you, didn't he, mate?
Oh, you know what? I was talking about this in work today with Gav, because Gav knows that I called him the flop of the season in the Prem. Ever since those words left my mouth, he's just gone, you know what, Josh? I've listened to your podcast. Get fucked.
He must be an avid listener. Hey, Kai, you're welcome.
Yeah. He's just, as you said, sticking the fingers up at me at the moment because that guy, this could be his tournament. I know he's still young, but this is a chance to say, you know what? maybe it's not been the best year for me. Still gone on to win 2 trophies, but might have been not the best Premier League season for me, but it's certainly going to be the best Euros for me.
He's shown that in Champions League though. Like when he's played against foreign opposition, like he's always looked one of the better players on the pitch. So it might just be the Premier League that he's not adapted to.
Yeah, but I mean, there's no doubt, and I said the same on the podcast about Timo Werner. Absolutely no doubt that those two are going to go on to do great things for Chelsea. And speaking of Chelsea as well, just popped into my head, but they've met the 50-odd million fee for that Inter Milan defender today, haven't they?
Ashraf Hakimi, yeah.
Yeah, I knew you'd know the name. That's why I wasn't going to have a go at it.
Well, interesting story with him. He was a Real Madrid player. He's barely played for Real Madrid at all. Loaned out to Dortmund twice. Then Inter bought him for 40 million euros 1 season ago because Conte wanted him. Now Conte is gone. They're getting rid. Well, they're getting rid because they've got absolutely no money whatsoever.
Yeah, that's it.
That's another talk for another day, that.
But
them Chelsea and PSG have both met it, haven't they? PSG have met the price tag as well. That's an interesting one, that, because it puts Reece James in an awkward position.
It does, doesn't it? I do feel sorry for him as well because he's just had a very solid year. He's young. Now he's getting quite regular football. You don't want to see him phased out of the squad, do you? Because he's English as well. I'd certainly like to see him keep his place. It'd be great for him to fight for it and come out on top, but I just think with a price tag like that, this guy's obviously no mug.
Hakimi walks into the team for that.
Yeah.
Well, Southgate says James can play, what is it, centre mid, centre back, right back. I mean, he's probably going to be all right in that team. But I know. I mean, if he comes into Chelsea, I mean, and then takes that number one, what is it, right back, right wing back? I mean,
it's like a right wing back type role. He suits Tuchel perfectly.
Yeah, I mean, James is, he's had a blinder of a season. That'll just be a kick in the nuts, to be honest.
Yeah.
The season he's had, and then obviously this potential new signing comes in and then takes the number one spot, possibly. It's right kick in the nuts for him, but maybe it just maybe he just works his socks off and then gets himself back in, and then
he could play that right centre back role. He could end up moving to centre back.
He could just play a completely different position and fit in perfectly well, like he has done it. Right back, right wing back.
Yeah, he's done it this season, hasn't he? Him and Aspilicueta have both played in the same team, and they work really well together. One dropping off and one going forward. Which I think if England play that on Sunday, that you'll see that a lot with Chilwell and Shaw. If Shaw bombs forward, then Chilwell will drop back in, and then vice versa. But it's a lot of money for a fullback to just be competition, isn't it?
Yeah. You got to think Cesar Aspilicueta as well. His days are numbered. He must be thinking. And what a great servant for Chelsea he's been, but now he's aging on a little bit. They're obviously looking at James and this new lad to be the two fighting for that position now. You've got to think he's probably going to move back to Spain or something, isn't he?
Go and see out your career at Sociedad like David Silva's done.
Yeah.
Why not? Going back to the Euros then, boys, we didn't pick a winner out of France and Germany. So my worry with Germany is the defence and, more importantly, the lack of wide options. They've got Robin Gosens, who is a left wing back for Atalanta, similar style to Hakimi. But in terms of right backs, I'm not seeing much in that team at all. I mean, I don't know who played right back for him against Latvia. I'm almost certain he played a back three, which is almost unheard of for Germany.
That's a position you do not want to be weak in against France when you've
especially
got
Mbappe
playing
on that left wing.
Oh, you do not want to be weak on that side at all.
No, you do not. I can't find the Germany game. Germany, just search it.
I'd absolutely love for this game to be a massive goal fest, literally end-to-end football. None of this like in the middle of the park stuff, like everybody's scared to have a go. I just want to see France and Germany go toe-to-toe, shots coming in from everywhere, Mbappe running his bollocks off. Muller banging him in from all places. Timo Werner running his nuts off as well. I just want to see like a 3-3, a 4-4, a 5-1 to whatever watch side. I don't mind. I just want to see goals from that game. If it ends up being 0-0, I'll be severely disappointed.
You know what game I'm thinking of there? France-Argentina from 3 years ago.
Yeah.
That 4-2 or 4-3
Yeah.
it was.
Yeah.
Oh my God, what a game.
Yeah.
I think the only sort of shame for me on this one is there's only about 15,000 fans allowed in this one.
Yeah.
And so, some of the other the games earlier on, they're getting 35, 34,000. Are just
it deserves
a game of this sort of, the teams that are involved here deserves 30 odd 40,000 fans in there. I know it's
as a
difficult
minimum.
at the minute, but to have almost full stadium for a game like this would be immense. But that's the only downside to it. But yeah, I'm with you, Josh. I just
goals.
Yes, I'm expecting a belter. Let's put it that way.
Oh, it's going to
an
be
absolute cracker of a game.
Cracker, isn't it?
This should have been the first game to kick it off. Not the last one for that game round one. But yeah, I mean, I think France edge it. But I do think there's going to be some goals in this, and quite an exciting game.
I'm just looking at the Germany squad then, and they've done exactly what I thought they might do when I saw the team of a back three of Ginter, Hummels, and Rudiger, Gosens at left wing back, and then the best centre midfielder in the world, Joshua Kimmich at right wing back.
Filling in the void. You know what, mate? That could be smart. That could be smart.
He is the second coming of Philipp Lahm, let's be honest. He can do it there. And then it's not like you're lacking in midfield because you've got Toni Kroos and Ilkay Gundogan, who have both, again, had incredible seasons. I'm looking at this Germany team. England have been really unfortunate because we've not been able to play our last friendly, with our strongest lineup. But most teams have. I'm looking at that Germany team now with that midfield 4, back 3, and then a front 3 of Havertz, Muller, and Gnabry. That is probably going to be their starting 11 against France. And Kimmich marking Mbappe.
Yeah, one of the best defensive midfielders, like you said, probably the best defensive midfielder. Well, I don't know, N'Golo Kante's. N'Golo Kante. He's up there though, and it's not a bad person to fill that void at all. If you've not got a proper out-and-out right wing back, then just stick one of your best defensive players in that void. Fair play to them. I think that'll be a good battle to watch,
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that game so much.
Yeah, that's going to be an absolute belter. Tuesday, the 15th of June, that one, 8 o'clock, lads. Want to get set for the reminder on Sky or whatever?
Great. I'm in work till 9. Great.
Oh, mate, I have words. I'm
hoping that it's normally an all boys session that night. I'm hoping that all the fellas are like, you know what? Sack off the gym. Let's open pints behind the bar and watch the footy instead.
Yeah. That'd be great. You know what? Just work out whilst watching it.
I know, yeah. Yeah, we've got a spare TV in the back. I literally might just put it on in the background.
Just put it on at the front next to you whilst you're telling them what to do. They can watch it whilst working out.
Your eyes
Everyone's
are on me,
a winner.
but it's there as well.
Yeah. just put it behind your head. Just over your shoulder. And when it looks like they're asked about what you're saying, they're just watching Joshua Kimmich mark Mbappe out of the game.
All over that.
Yeah, it's going to be a good first round. Match day 1 for all these squads. It's going to be epic. You know what? I'm actually, after talking about it now, I'm actually going to watch that Macedonia game against Austria. I am going to watch it, and I really want to cheer for them. Sorry, Austria, I'm not cheering for you in that one. North Macedonia all the way.
Yeah, Fidan, thanks for your input. We will be supporting North Macedonia now.
Yeah.
Class. Right. Colin's going to kill me if I don't use some of these transitions, but there's been some interesting news breaking today, Josh, and I don't know if you've seen this. So I'm going to drop this sort of transition and then get your thought process on it.
The managerial merry-go-round.
Just loves it, doesn't he? Absolutely loves a transition video. So, more managers. And it's done that thing where it kicks Josh out once again. Unreal. So, just for you viewers listening, there has been a few new managerial appointments today. There we go, mate. So Chris loves it. Your computer hates them videos.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do something to my computer that I just don't know.
Yeah. So managerials today. Maurizio Sarri has joined Lazio.
Fair play. I think it's a good appointment. That suits
Great
them.
appointment. That. Did you see their Twitter account and their announcement?
No, I've not had a chance to look at Twitter all day. To be honest, mate.
All they tweeted was the emoji cigarette.
Oh, belter! Because you know what? When I think about him, that's all I think about as well.
Absolutely.
Just heaviest smoker known to man.
Unreal, innit? Wolves have signed Bruno Lager.
Lager. Wolves fans have got to be singing that. As soon as they're back to full capacity in the Molineux, I just want to hear that belting out of the stadium.
Absolutely. I will be honest. I don't know who he is, apart from he used to be an assistant manager at Sheffield Wednesday a good few years ago. Doesn't fill you with confidence, that does it?
No. And if Everton made a similar appointment, I would be headbutting something.
Yeah, absolutely. Your boys are in talks supposedly with Graham Potter.
Yeah, I have heard about that.
How do you feel about that one? I think that's a great appointment, you know.
I don't know how to feel about it, mate.
So from an outsider, the football that he has installed at Brighton is fantastic. They are a top scorer away from being a really, really solid Premier League team, and they've got a bang average squad. Imagine if you give him financing and a goal scorer. I mean, I know, obviously, we know that your team needs fucking ripping through and starting again.
Made a good start. We got rid of 11 lads the other day.
That's true, but how many of them were first teamers?
About 4, I think.
Yeah.
Well, not consistent first teamers, but
no. Because we did the same. It was like United get rid of eight players, but there was actually only one that actually made appearances, and that was Romero.
Yeah. So what's he doing now? Sorry to shift that.
I would imagine going back to Argentina.
Yeah. I'm surprised we've not looked at him.
Who was the 4 that went, Josh?
So we've got rid of Mohamed Bezic, who's not played for a while. He's gone on loan to a couple of teams. I think he was at Sheffield United last. But if you remember rightly, he did actually feature quite a bit under Roberto Martinez back in the day.
I remember him playing a fair bit. I actually quite liked him.
Yeah, and you know what? So did I. But obviously, his time's come to move on. Walcott has gone, which I think we knew about anyway, didn't we? Yannick Balassi, who you may have forgotten even played for us.
He's been injured for...
He's been on loan this season, hasn't he, as well?
Yeah. Middlesbrough, I think it was.
Yeah.
Obviously, Joshua King, we've not extended his tenure with us anymore. Didn't really get any time with us, did he? Didn't do anything with the time he had either. So, unfortunately, didn't quite pan out for Joshua King. I don't know what's happening with Olsen. We've not got rid of him, but obviously his loan deal's come to an end, so he'll be going back to Roma, and I just don't know whether that'll get renewed or not. As I said earlier, I'd like to see him at Everton, but I don't know. And then there's quite a lot of young lads. I think ones you've probably not heard of, Penlington, people like that. Lads that may have been on the bench for a couple of first team games, might have even featured in the odd cup game, but not first team Premier League games. So, but 11 lads off the wages. 4 names there that you've heard of. So some wages saved. I know that money's not really a big deal for us under Farhad Moshiri, but it's a step in the right direction, clearing out the deadwood. There's a lot more to be done there, though. But first of all, get a manager.
Balas is a shame because he had so much promise.
He did. It is a shame, you know. I could imagine somebody like Crystal Palace, because that's where he spent a lot of his time. I can imagine Crystal Palace just giving him a go.
Yeah.
Come back to Palace. They like those sorts of deals, don't they? Picking up players, giving them a chance on the free as well. Haven't really got the money, have they? So
yeah, did it with Zaha. Then he came to us, didn't work, went straight back there.
Yeah.
Well, next managerial men go round. Nuno Espirito Santo was the Palace manager, and now he isn't.
Yeah.
Like, it looked dead cert he was going to sign on with them, and now he's not. Like, Dale, what on earth has gone on there? Like, how were they linked to him in the first place?
I was just about to say that. I mean, that was a bizarre sort of link. Anyway, I thought Wolves to Palace. I don't know.
Step down.
It didn't kind of make any sense to me. The original, talk with with both parties, but yeah, it's fell through for whatever reason. But I mean, where does he go? I mean, there was talk of Spurs and obviously Everton, but obviously Spurs are in talks with one of the manager that I'm sure Danny will bring us on to in a minute. But I don't know. Everton, would you take him, Josh? There?
No, ideally I wouldn't. Same with Potter, really. I just think, and it's Carlo that ruins it when it comes to me and my opinion. You've gone from somebody who's been there, done it, got the T-shirt, won the most prestigious European competition more than once. Yes, people will say, well, what's he actually done for Everton this year? They've probably got a right to say that, in my opinion. We've not done particularly well if you look at our final Premier League standing, and we've underachieved, as we've discussed previously as a group. But I just felt like there was a project there. He was building something. We got the new stadium. The money and the backing was there. I feel like Marcel Brands, sort of, they had a thing going where they were actually recruiting better. The recruitment drive seemed to be better. We got Alan, Decore, Godfrey, 3 really solid players for us all season. I like their style of play, all grafters. I just don't know whether if, taking Potter or Espirito Santo is just like a step down from Carlo, if you know what I mean. We're talking we're talking Wolves and Brighton here. Wolves weren't long, both of them not long ago were in the Championship. I know they're doing well in the Premier League now, mid-table or slightly below mid-table, but it's Everton Football Club. And I might be thinking, well, Everton Football Club were a big club back in the day. They've not really done well in my lifetime, but still, one of the longest members of the Premier League, of top flight football, and one of the first original clubs in English football. And we've got money there, and we've got the financial backing, and we've got a stadium on the way. I'm rambling, but I just think when you've got Conte knocking about, who's a winner, and then you've got the money to go and poach a top class manager. If the money does talk, there must be a manager somewhere who's world class that's actually willing to say, you know what, they're offering me, half on top of what I'm already on to go over there and have a go. And they've got the backing for me to sign the players I want. There must be some managers out there that would move. So in a nutshell, I know it wasn't a nutshell, it was more of a ramble, but in a nutshell, no, I wouldn't be happy with him, mate. I wouldn't be happy with Potter. Let's have a go for Conte if he's available.
And if he's not available?
I said it on the podcast, mate. Throw money at Simeone. I want that guy at my club. I want that guy at my club. He's an animal.
He is. He's an animal.
I think as well, he's like you say, you've had Carlo there, who's he's won pretty much everything. Wherever he's been in, England, Spain, Italy, whatever. And I'd say no disrespect to Potter, whatever. He's not like one of these exciting sort of appointments, like you will get from, like say, a Conte who's just come off the back of a winning team in Italy, or as you say, there's Simeone. They're the exciting ones that you want at your club. But yeah, just with obviously with you having Carlo, there's that sort of bar that's now set.
Yeah.
And you've got to sort of either be at that bar or try and sort of punch above it if you can. But
we've shot ourselves in the foot by bringing Carlo in, unfortunately. And because now he's left and we weren't expecting it, who do we go for? That's the major thing now, because if we brought in Duncan Ferguson, I mean, obviously I love Duncan Ferguson. Every Evertonian does. And he might say it's the right time for him, but it's not the right time for Everton, I don't think, coming off the back of Carlo Ancelotti. I just don't think it is.
It wasn't the right time for him when he was interim manager. Like, it just didn't work.
But our sights are set far higher than, unfortunately, what he can give us, I think, at the moment. I'd love for him to be the understudy to another world-class manager and pick the mind of another top-class manager after Carlo, and just continue to study and learn the trade, and then maybe go and manage a Championship or a League One team for a bit. See how you do. Yeah, and then come back. There's always going to be a spot for you at Everton Football Club. You're loved. You're like an absolute legend of the team. They're not going to say no to you once you've got some experience under your belt. And that thing about him turning down Real Madrid, I'm not sure how much I can read into that. Imagine Big Dunk in the dugout in the Bernabeu. Imagine.
I'd love that. I'd love
it
that.
would be. Oh, it'd be like just one of those stories of like an underdog sort of story, isn't it? Just making it onto one of the most beautiful stages and platforms in football.
Imagine him coaching Karim Benzema how to shoot.
yeah. Don't worry about your stats, mate. Let's not compare stats. This is what you're doing. You're jumping for the header like this.
Would you take David Moyes back?
I've actually changed my opinion about taking old managers back recently, because obviously we've seen Carlo go back to Real Madrid. If Real Madrid are doing it, then surely a smaller club like Everton should be looking at previous managers as well. So yes, I probably would. He's just had a great season for West Ham. The only reason he left Everton in the first place was to go to Man United after Sir Alex Ferguson. Who turns down Man United when Alex Ferguson's held that post for so long?
And what a great he selected you to take that job.
Exactly. What an opportunity for him. I don't deny him that rite of passage to that job at all. Yeah. I would have done it. I would have done it. He's obviously had a couple of jobs where it's not worked out in between, but now he's shown that he's still got it at West Ham. So yeah, I'd have David Moyes back. Do I think he'd come now because he's got a project at West Ham? It'd be money. It'd be money that'd drag him over now, because I don't think he'll want to leave after the season they've had.
I think they've got a better prospect than you have at the moment.
Yeah, and you know what? If they turn around and say, "Look, Dave, we'll sign Jesse Lingard, we'll sign whoever you want. Just stay at West Ham. Yeah, keep Rice. We're not selling anybody that you don't want to sell. We're going to take on Lingard or whoever you want to sign." Will he be moving? I don't think so at all. No,
madness. All right, the final one. And this broke just as we were about to go on air, so you might not have seen this one, Josh. Tottenham Hotspur have started talks with a new manager.
Go on.
No, it is not Antonio Conte, because those broke down over the weekend.
Yeah. No,
it is not Mauricio Pochettino, because that has broke down as well.
Yeah.
It is Paulo Fonseca.
Who's that?
That, my friend, is the manager that was sacked by Roma, where Jose Mourinho took over.
Oh. Oh God.
The old managerial switcheroo.
Oh. Well. Sorry, Spurs fans. I can't say I know who this guy is.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about him.
He almost got suspended, and Roma suspended because he accidentally made 6 substitutions in one game.
Accidentally. Okay, mate. Yeah. He knew what he was doing.
Yeah. They are fucked, They are absolutely.
I just gotta give it another 2 or 3 days, and then I'm just gonna wait for the next breaking news.
Yeah.
Spurs are in talks with whoever. It just seems to be going like that at the minute, doesn't it, for them? It's this manager, a couple of days, and then they break down. Then 2 days later, someone else comes in.
You know what? I can relate to them though, mate. Everton's the same. I mean, it wasn't long ago since Howe was being touted at Everton. He's obviously drifted off now.
But I mean, they seem to be sort of like I said to Danny's before he came on. It was like that Bayern Munich manager at the time was his name was being mentioned before he took the Germany job.
Yeah.
Then Pochettino is rumored to be coming back. Then Conte. He's now whoever this this ex-Roma manager. It's like they're slowly sort of coming down the chain.
Yeah. They've got a list and they're just
Yeah.
crossing them off.
I mean,
one by one. Red pen in it. Red
Marco
pen.
If you're a Spurs fan, though, I mean, if you're a Spurs fan and you've seen that come through, it's like...
Oh, it's an absolute nightmare. If they knew who it is.
Is this guy going to get us into Europe next season?
No.
No, and I mean proper Europe, not that Toto Cup stuff, whatever it was.
I bet if you're a Spurs fan, you've never fucking heard of him.
Oh yeah, that's one of two reactions. Who's that? Oh God.
Yeah, like the only reason why you'll know it is because your old manager has just replaced him at his new club.
Yeah.
It is absolutely. They are. The sooner Harry Kane leaves that club, the better.
Oh, do you know what? Will happen? Ryan Mason will get it full time.
That would probably be a better appointment.
That'll be it. This is where it's going to go.
Yeah, that would probably be a better appointment than giving it this Paolo fucking whatever his name is.
Paolo, whatever his name is. Yeah. Says it all, doesn't it? Says it all.
It's not often you see a manager come in and everyone is like, who is that?
You know what I could see happening? Talks will break down with Tottenham and then all of a sudden Everton are linked with him. Everton weren't aware of him, didn't know who he was, but all of a sudden Tottenham have brought him to light and it's not worked out and now we're after him. That's what'll happen.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I feel sorry for them, I do. But it's one of those, isn't it? Harry Kane will leave. They'll be disappointed with that. If they bring in a manager that they've never heard of, I could see riots.
Yeah. Especially when they spend all that money on shite like they did when they got all the Bale money.
Yeah. Well, in terms of managerial roundabouts, lads, that was well and truly a roundabout. God,
that wasn't a roundabout, mate. That was a fucking roller coaster.
Yeah. And still we're managerless at Everton. So this time next week, what are we going to be talking about?
Well, you've still got Conte, Zidane knocking around.
You know what? How's Zidane not been tapped up for Tottenham?
I know.
How has he not been tapped up? Throw a shirt on, get in midfield, lad. you know what I mean? Maybe then you'll push for Europe. Kane might stay then. He'll have some decent service. He won't have to set everybody up himself.
I'd bag Zidane to do a job in midfield still.
He would, mate. You know what? I was watching, this Mika Richards and Roy Keane.
Oh, is it any good?
Oh, it's class. They're on YouTube.
Yeah.
So he was talking about hard players that he come against, and he was talking about Zinedine Zidane, and he was saying you can't tell just how massive he is, but he is a really big bloke. And obviously Roy Keane was like 5'10" or something like that, but Zidane's like 6'2", 6'3", and fast, and the ball sticks to his feet. Like he was saying when he was playing against him, I think it was the Juventus game. It was so difficult to mark him, but he was because they were both in the middle. And he also said he was really dirty, like a proper dirty player, which I just love about him. And I suppose he showed that when he headbutted Marco Materazzi, didn't he? So
good lad. Love that. Love that. Right, 2 final bits because we've gone on a lot longer than I thought we would do. Quick check-up. Has Jaden Sancho signed for Manchester United yet? No, he has not. No.
Well, I mean, it's going to drag on again. It's worth it, I think, because what I saw of him for England the other night, he looked half decent. He did look half decent.
He's going to be a great player. Yeah. But all these Twitter accounts, all they need to do is just go back a year, retweet, you're done, lads. You don't need to do any work. It's just the same story all over again.
Yeah. You'd be happy if you get him, though, won't you?
Oh, yeah.
He is a good player.
Yeah, I mean, is he our priority signing? No, that would be my thing. I mean,
mine's centre back.
Yes, if we sign him, obviously I'm gonna be happy with him coming to Old Trafford, but he wasn't top of the list in terms of what we needed. There's a centre back, centre mid was kind of what I was hoping United would go for. But as I say, it's only, what is it, the first day it's open up today, transfer window and stuff.
Yes.
I mean, there's plenty of time for all that to
Blossom.
obviously, yeah. But yeah, if he comes in, happy with it. But like I say, I'm hopeful they'll obviously look at centre mid, centre backs as well.
The advantage we've got is all of these players are in England at the moment. Like most of these players that we're linked to are going to be spending a lot of time in England because of the Euros.
Yeah.
So
send your representatives over, get chatting.
Fucking right, yeah, get tapping up during the Euros. Why not?
I reckon Southgate would have a word with them, wouldn't he? He'd be like, "Look, we're concentrating on the tournament here. I'll have none of that.
Bud, deal with it afterwards."
Yeah,
apparently Dortmund have set him a deadline of the day before the first preseason friendly. So you can leave any time before that, but if you've not left by then, you're staying. Which, to be fair, they said that last year and they stuck to the word. So I don't think United can piss around this year. I think if we want him, we just have to go and get him.
Yeah, definitely. I
think it's clear that they're happy to sell him. He did them the favour last year. He stayed one more year. He did exactly what they wanted from him. Like, they're clear to just go and cash in now, and we just seem to be fannying about.
Yeah, and cash in is what they'll do because the money that's being bounced about is, I know it's less than what was being talked about this time last year.
Yeah.
But still decent amount of money. We're talking like 90 million to 100 million, aren't we now?
Yeah.
Crazy money.
Yeah, absolutely. Mental. Another name that's been linked today and heavily linked today with United is Kieran Trippier.
Well, yeah, I think if it's only been announced today, there's certainly been talks of it for about a week now. And I think we even talked about it, didn't we? Did we not talk about it on the podcast?
I think we did a couple of weeks ago, yeah. I personally would be all over that.
Yeah. Just won the league. Yeah. Absolute belter. Yeah, he's a great player. Yeah. What a signing he'd be. 100%. Imagine him and Shaw on each side.
That's what I mean. Or we've seen what Alex Telles did to to Luke Shaw this season.
Yeah.
Like Telles coming in as just Shaw, massive. Wan-Bissaka has no competition at right back. Let's bring in Trippier and let him fight for it.
Yeah. I think that's what he's doing, isn't it?
Yeah,
I hope so.
Different option, like Wan-Bissaka, he's not the best sort of going forward, but defensively he's just ridiculously great. He's top-notch defender. Whereas Trippier, defensively, he's probably not as strong as Wan-Bissaka, but going forward,
so much better.
He's so much better. So you've got that little bit of balance on that side between the two players. But competition-wise, it'll, like I say, you look at what Telles did to Shaw last season. Hopefully, he'll have a similar impact with these two if Trippier obviously comes in.
One thing I did see was apparently Ollie is looking at the thought of playing Wan-Bissaka as a centre back next season, which I've been saying instead of Lindelof. Yeah, so potentially not going purchasing a Moran who would cost like 60-70 million, but going buying a Trippier, playing him right back, and then we play Wan-Bissaka and Maguire together. Now, I've been thinking this for years that I think he'd be better as a centre back. Like, the only issue he's got is positionally, he's fucking all over the place. His best thing is his recovery tackle, and that scares me as a centre back. Like you said about Kyle Walker earlier, make your mistakes out wide, don't do it as a centre back.
Yeah. I'd give him a go. You know what? Pre-season, if he's talking about it, give him a go pre-season, see what he's like. Give him more pre-season to sort his position out. I think it could be a good move for him. I do. But then if you keep him on the right-hand side and you bring Trippier in, then there's the competition there, isn't it? If you bring him into the middle and let him know that he's got more of a chance of playing in that position, then the competitive edge for the right back, right wing back position sort of slightly diluted in a way.
Yeah, because Trippier knows that spot is.
Yeah, so I mean, I've just been thinking about this now, but going back to what Dale said about your two positions that you should have been focusing on were a centre back and a centre midfield.
Yeah.
I think you need a centre midfielder personally because I just don't think Fred cuts it. Mm-hmm. I'm surprised you've not gone for is it Bissouma from Brighton?
Yeah,
I think that guy reminds me of Decore at Everton. That guy is box to box engine, And I think he'd just slot in so well into your midfield. I think he's far better than Brighton. Yeah. And I do think he's of the calibre that you need for a midfield, like for that centre midfield position. I'm shocked that you're not looking at him. I really am. You could be, but somebody needs to be looking at him.
I said this on the Total Football podcast that I did with the lads on the season end of season review. And I said one of my ideal signings would be either him or Ndidi.
Yeah.
Now, the Ndidi one was the one that I brought up in the end because of them signing Sumane and they're about to sign Odison Edouard from Celtic. So they're spending cash again, so they're going to need to recoup it at some point. Ndidi doesn't seem to fit that midfield anymore if Sumane comes in. But Bissouma is someone that just looks like he's going right to the top, don't they?
Yeah, yeah. And the big clubs must be thinking about making a swoop for him this summer, I think. Now that, if Potter leaves, if Potter does go to Everton or even Tottenham, with the current situation at Tottenham, it could be Potter, who knows? But if Potter goes, then I'd fancy them swooping in and taking that opportunity there. They're managerless. Nobody knows who the new manager wants to keep. Let's have a go for him.
I think Potter would take him wherever he goes. I can see Potter just taking him with him.
You would think that'd be the ideal for him, wouldn't it? To take arguably his best player, one of his best players.
Oh, just in from the Telegraph. So, pinch of salt, but it's better than the sun. Everton consider shock move for former Liverpool manager Rafa Benitez.
That's not a shock. He's been linked with us for years. That's not a shock. Daily Telegraph can get stuffed, honestly. They're such a bad newspaper. Such a bad newspaper. They're going right down there with the red tops and the sun. They really are.
Yeah.
I wouldn't read into that. And I wouldn't have Rafa. His time's gone for Everton now.
No. But apart from that, transfers have been very quiet, haven't they? I noticed it at first day. We've had a few free agents move and stuff, but Euros, international windows are hard to do transfers in.
Yeah, and still the back sort of the filtered down COVID effect as well, isn't it? People are going to want to see them in the shop window first before they go and splash that money that they've still got remaining after COVID, I think.
Yeah.
Looking at the North Macedonias of the world and seeing who they can poach. Giving Pandev a go.
37-year-old Pandev might get a shot in the Prem after all.
Why not, eh? Sign him up, Norwich. Stick him up front with Pookie.
Imagine. That'd be fucking brilliant duo, that.
Pandev and Pookie.
Pandev, double P, eh? Love that. Right. Time.
You know what? Under 18s, we're furloughing you. No, it's just not something you do.
No.
Not that week. Here we go. Oh, dickhead of the week.
Dickhead of the week.
Dickhead of the week. Do you know what? Me and Dale were talking about this just before we were off air. Oh, well, Josh has done again. Yeah, of course he has.
Just doesn't like it, does it? His laptop, Mac, whatever it is, he just doesn't like the videos, does it?
You're not playing these videos anymore. You know what? My computer's the dickhead of the week for me.
Yeah.
You've had it.
Not a lot is really happening, is it?
I'm really clutching at straws. For this one.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a few jokey ones, obviously Spurs for hiring a manager that got sacked from the club you sent your manager to. Sergio Ramos for saying all season that he's never ever signing a contract extension and he's about to sign a 1-year deal. I hate players when they're like, I'm leaving. Oh, I'll stay then. Why not? Barcelona for just not being able to pay anyone any money.
Oh, I've got one. I've just thought about one now.
Go on then.
I'm going to say Aguero's dad, and I don't know if this was within the last week or so, but his comments about Pep Guardiola, I don't believe that his tears were real. He always wanted to get rid of Aguero from the team and all that. Fuck off, mate. Pep Guardiola was not trying to push the best striker that team's ever had in its history out of the club. I'm not having it. Nah, no,
because
absolutely
as soon
not.
as he got a sniff of Jesus, Aguero stopped seeing a pitch a lot more then.
That's because he was injured all the time.
Well, that's true.
I'm not having that at all. And I'm sorry, but what drama or acting classes has Pep Guardiola been taken to cry like that? He hasn't. Don't give me that bull. I just think there's some sour grapes there. I don't know what sort of rift there is between Pep and Aguero's dad, but he just sounds like a baby who spat his dummy out to me. Aguero apparently bought all the staff at Man City like a Rolex or a tag or something like that, like beautiful watches, and then raffled away his Land Rover or something like that to one of the members of staff as well. The guy is obviously an absolute legend and loved the club and loved the staff. That's the way you leave a club. It's not trying to drag their manager, probably the best manager they've ever had, certainly the most successful manager they've ever had, under a bus in the press. That's not how you do it. That's not how you go. So it's a loose one, and it's one I've only just thought about now. But when I read it in the press, I did think, oh, what a dickhead. So there you go, Dale. That's my suggestion, mate. There's mine.
I mean, I don't think I can top that.
I like that. Let's say it's just I've not really read much.
There's not been much to read.
Like I say, other than the Euros,
yeah,
I've literally not read anything else, about what's been going on. But the one I'll throw out there is the merry-go-round. That is, at Spurs. That was it. Yeah. It's just who's next? Who's going to be linked with the job next?
Yeah.
It's just going around in circles. Them and this manager. So, yeah, that was my pretty shit. But
no, it is one of those we are clutching, aren't we?
Yeah.
You could even say all the England fans that are still booing them for taking the knee. They're all dickheads as well.
So that was another one of mine. Was like the fans booing. Like, what are we doing, lads? Just fucking crack on.
Evolve.
Yeah.
Evolve.
Or evolve or dissolve.
Dissolve, yeah. Waste of fresh air. Yeah. Good fresh air.
my other one, and this is like a serious matter, Dale was speaking about earlier. The agent or former agent of Silas Wamangituka. Did you catch his story?
Who?
The Stuttgart winger plays for Dominican Republic of Congo.
I did hear about this, mate.
Yeah.
Now you said Congo. Yes. Go on.
Sorry, not democratic. So his former agent forced him to use a fake name and a fake date of birth. Yeah. I'm not 100% sure on all the reasons. I've tried reading it and it doesn't really make sense to me, if I'm being honest. But his actual name is Silas Katompa Mvumba. Which is a
sounds nicer.
Great name, by the way.
Yeah, sounds much nicer.
It's a great name.
Yeah. And the difference in his age was only 12 months, wasn't it? It was only like a 12 months. What's the point?
Yeah,
what's the point?
99 to 98. Yeah, so, I mean, the real dickheads there is UEFA and FIFA, because I've been reading through Reddit and stuff, and by the sounds of it, this happens a lot, especially in the African countries. Like, football trafficking is a real thing, and they just don't do anything about it.
Oh, do your due diligence. God, how much money have you got?
It's just not hard, is it? They're just not arsed, though. They're not arsed.
Yeah, I think that's the nominations. Yeah.
There's going to be a point, Dale, where we rename this from your Dick of the Week to the Spurs Award.
Yeah, or the Rangers Award. Celtic.
Celtic went they won it like 2 months in a row.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, apologies to any Rangers fan. You were never Dickheads of the Week. It was always Celtic, which you'll be pleased to know.
Just wait till that August, September again.
Yeah. There's time for you yet.
Yes.
I'm just gonna give it Spurs, to be honest. I've kind of just getting bored of reading who's next in their lineup of managerial appointments, or who they're in talks with. It's becoming a bit of a farce in my eyes. So who's next? crack on. Right,
Who's
Spurs.
next? Who cares?
Who's next?
Well, yeah, there is. I mean, there is. I mean, if you're Harry Kane as well, especially, it's like surely Levy sort of asking him, you know, who do you want?
Yeah.
If you want to stay, if we were to sort of make you stay at Spurs, who do you want in?
Yeah, sort
You know,
of like
you
what they did
start-
with Messi at Barca.
Your star
Yeah.
player. You know, try and do what you can to keep him. You know, what manager you want.
Yeah.
But you know,
It's Levy, innit?
like I said, the list is just going on, and you know, like I say, it's who's next. So yeah, Daniel Levy, Spurs, whoever, dickheads of the week.
Well deserved. Well deserved. And Chris's nomination there, dickhead of the week this week, is Dale for looking more and more like a pro golfer every single week.
All the gear, no idea.
Hey mate, at least you're on camera, unlike
Yeah.
someone watching on
Yeah.
Periscope.
Yeah, a pro golfer that turns up.
Yeah. Sick note over there. I don't even know if it's sick. I think it's probably
No, he'll be grafting, won't he?
Yeah, of course he will. He's proper grafter. Right, on that note, fellas, I think we should call it there. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching, listening on Spotify, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Search for us on YouTube for Manx One Toffee, but if you search for 4M1T, we turn up there, as we do on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitch. We are 4M1T. Any final parting words there, fellas?
Up the Euros. Bring on Friday. Come on, England.
Spot on, exactly that.
Yeah, excellent. Well, for me, up North Macedonia.
Yes. Go on, Pandev.
Go on, Pandev. Play with the tournament. $5 on. I dare you.
Hey, don't tempt me. Don't tempt me.
On the Sky Bet now. And on that note, gamble responsibly. See you for the Euros.